All right, so to begin with, you log into your Isometrics platform, you head through to Audit Manager, you head through to Audit Management, and you click Add New. Once it opens up, you'll see that you can then select your business unit. You then select your specific business unit. In this case, I'm at Kumba. You then populate your risk disciplines, which in this case are safety, health, and environment. You then go and choose your functional location, which is obviously selected based on your business unit. And on your audit title, you can say Shiwei Readiness Assessment 2022 or whatever it is. If you want to be specific, you could then also add the location just so that it comes up in your search bar. Audit scope, it'll be full Shiwei Readiness Assessment. But then again, if you are following the advice of doing it chapter by chapter, captured chapter by chapter as per the Shiwei specification chapters in separate activities. In other words, what that means is that you've captured this in total by the end of the year, but you did it in 7 separate activities. Right, the audit type is going to be internal. Your audit template is going to be the Shiwei. So you can type in Shiwei. And you'll see at the bottom here, there are 3 that come up. So if I type them all, you'll see it's self-assessment, self-assessment, self-assessment. Talks about old Shiwei self-assessment. So that's imported from Enablon. And then here you'll see that there's a Shiwei Readiness and a Shiwei Readiness. The one that I would mandate that you use would be Group Technical and SNSD standards over here, which were created by me last year. These are imported again from Enablon for people who migrated from Enablon in 2021. Process or activity, you can then populate based on what it is that you're going to be auditing. So again, you can choose all of the different areas that you're going to be doing. All right. Your audit manager is going to be the manager who is responsible for the department conducting the audit or being audited. So in your cases, the audit manager would be the head of safety, health and environment, or operations manager if the SHE department reports into the operations manager. And then the auditee is obviously going to be the department. For this purposes, I am adding in my own name, obviously. You can populate your audit date. And here you can say, read from your audit notification that you sent out. This would be the overview. And then same thing, your audit objectives can be copied from your audit notification, and you can include it there. And at this point, you can then click Save to Continue. Now you'll see that this changes to approve the schedule to launch the audit. And you'll see here that you'll need to either have the opportunity to Karina or have the opportunity to propose new dates or approve the schedule. In this case, I'm going to approve it because I'm the audit manager. And I'll submit audit planning. So once it's saved, you can come back to audit management and go and find it. How I search, which seems to be the easiest way to search for me, is to go to the audit template. I just type in Shiwei. And I search, and you'll see my record is over here at the bottom. So the most recent one created. Right? And here it is available, and you can go and start the audit. Click Start. Right? You'll see that you have the opportunity to then capture your audit team. And again, here you can add your various team members underneath here who were participating in the audit. All right, and you'll see the options there and save. And then your team members will be populated for the audit. And close this. And you can start the audit. And so here you'll see that you're able to now start the audit. So you can click on Start. And here you are with your questions. So again, same questions that you've been going through these training modules and through the Shiwei readiness. And each question then needs an answer. So you'll see that your options drop down when you click on the down arrow, and the answers are yes and no. Now, I've been asked before, what about not applicable? The reality is that all of the requirements in the standard are applicable. So if you don't have them in place and there is a justifiable reason why not, then you need to then click yes and motivate that there isn't a requirement for this. Or if you'd like to, you can click no and then just say no, not applicable, and again capture why under the observations and comments. But again, just to refresh, every single requirement in the Shiwei is mandatory. You can only apply for extension on your action plans and for completing your self-assessments. You can't apply for exemption to the Shiwei. The only sites and operations that might be in a position to apply for some exemptions are mines that have closed and that are in care and maintenance, but otherwise all of the requirements of the Shiwei are mandatory and there should be none that are not applicable. So again, your answer is talking to the process, your evidence is talking to the evidence under yes and no, and then you can capture your findings. So obviously if your answers were both no, in that you don't have the process and you don't have the evidence, or even if you have the process you have the process but you don't have the evidence and not in place, and you need to then make sure that you action a finding, you can click here to open the findings module, which will pop up in a window right next door, as you can see. And here you can then add a finding, which will include a root cause analysis, as you can see. So action description, all right, and you can save to continue. It will then also take you down to root cause analysis. And once you've captured that within that findings section, you can then also create an action to close out the finding and the non-conformity. And once you've answered all of the questions, loaded your findings and captured your root cause analysis and your actions, you can come back here to the main answer sheet where you're capturing your audit. And you can also then upload your supporting documents, which would be your audit report, your opening and closing meeting minutes, any photographs or any details from the audit that you may have photographed or photocopied, etc. And those should all come in here as your supporting documents, particularly if you reviewed things like incident records or inspections or equipment logs or emergency equipment, emergency drills, etc. Anything that you screenshotted or photocopied as part of your audit could come in here under your supporting documents. And then once you're done, you can save. And it'll go through for verification to the audit manager, who can review and then verify. And once it's been verified, then your audit is complete. And the only thing to continue managing is then the closeout of your actions, which would in turn then close out your findings. The next thing I want to show you is the dashboard that's been created for this purpose. All right, so for your own purposes in each of your servers, you will use your server. So I'm in the Kumba server at the moment, because the Kumba server has all of the group reporting on it, which I'm going to go through to. But in your specific areas, you would then go through to your dashboards on your server that is specific to your business units and operations. And once you come in here, you can go to Audit Overview. And once this opens up, you'll see here's the audit dashboard for your specific area. What I'd like you to then have a look at is if you go to Audit Overview, and you click the down arrow, you will see that there's a selection of pre-populated dashboard sheets for you. If you go down to community and you look in the space over here that looks at community, you'll see there's one that's called WM, Shiwei Self-Assessment. And WM is just the name of the developer who created this for me. And he has made sure it's rolled out to all your servers. If it isn't, please feel free to let me know and I'll inform him that that server needs to have this dashboard rolled out to it. But if you click on that WM Shiwei Self-Assessment dashboard, you will see that it pulls up the data related only to the Shiwei readiness assessments. All right, so for my purposes, obviously, I can see the whole group and I can see everybody's Shiwei self-assessments on here. This isn't the point of showing this isn't to name and shame, we're still early in the year. But you'll see that I've got the audits by business unit. I've got the progress in terms of which ones are open, past due or overdue. Actions that have been linked to the various responsible people associated with the completion of the Shiwei. An overview here in terms of the number of non-compliant answers, total number of questions, or total number of actions that have been closed or actions that are overdue, and then obviously tasks related to business units, so you can see that as a total number. Now, obviously, if you want to filter, you can go and filter per year. So you can click on the year button and it'll tell you which year you can filter for. So in our purposes, we've only got 2021 and 2022 to filter on. So if I filter for 2022, you'll see that the look changes because obviously it's early in the year and people have only just started their SheWay self-assessments. And you can play around here in terms of what you want to be able to see. A note to remember for those of you who want to create perhaps a specific SheWay 2020 or a specific SheWay 2021 view, you can do it like this, like I've selected the 2022 year only, and you can go up to this button over here, which says bookmarks. And as you will see, I've created a SheWay 2021 and a SheWay 2022 dashboard, and I have bookmarked those. So next time I come in here, when I do my monthly reporting for all of you, I just come and click on the SheWay 2022 dashboard, and you'll see it already populates and comes up. And if I go to 2021, you will see that the view changes somewhat because obviously it's different data for the 2 years. And in future, I hope to not have to pull these dashboards and email them to everybody. I hope to just send a reminder, automated, to everybody to go and check their dashboards and check their data and see that they're happy with the reporting, so they don't have to extract, import into Smartsheets, create a dashboard in Smartsheets, export, send in an email, etc. I can do that all directly from Isometrics, which is the reason why we moved to Isometrics. So I hope you found this helpful.